Hello, my name is Norman Alvarez and I'm going to be talking about patient fall protection. This presentation is being delivered via video. Feel free to stop or rewind as necessary. Patient falls are a serious problem. Most frequently reported adverse event. The core finding of my study and research was that they are complex and multivariety and cannot be solved simply or simplistically. Rather, solving problems of falls requires a system approach. I work with many senior citizens. I have seen many falls. Falls have serious health consequences: broken bones, head injuries, in some cases death. Fortunately not at my facility. Decreasing falls will benefit patients. The bottom line, learning goal is real world rather than theoretical. It is to determine a solution that can be implemented at my current place of employment. It is important that problem solving meld the theoretical or academic with the practical lesson of the real world experience. This was the key focus of the methodology utilized to translate learning goals into attainable objectives. There is a lot of literature on falls because it is such a widespread yet difficult to solve problem. This literature will be summarized as quickly as efficient as possible, while still being thorough. The literature ultimately reveals that the problem of falls is much more complex than commonly supposed. This epidemiology statistics gives some sense of the scope of the problem. There is cause for encouragement, however. Falls not inevitable, 1/3 of falls are preventable. These basic findings about risk factors for falls are logical and intuitive. Elderly people are often frail, while in the obese, the adipose tissue can act to cushion falls and lessen the force applied to bones. These facts are rudimentary to most practitioners, but bear repeating. The simple reality is that there is no way to mitigate the most fundamental cause of falls: declining physiological capacity of patients. Practitioners who know patients may fall have a responsibility to help prevent this occurrence. This is a challenging mandate. Primary causes of failure to prevent falls are listed on this slide. Most of the causes are fairly straightforward and well understood by any practitioner. Two simplest and most direct interventions most practitioners are aware of: confirmed by literature, making rounds to check on patients allows them to be helped, keeping them from having to move unassisted. Education of patients and practitioners about fall helps, though there is disagreement in literature about just how much. A key challenge at my facility, and most facilities, is determining how to improve falls. Many facilities know the problem of falls need addressing, but are not sure how to do so. Prefabricated protocols are therefore created to assist. The first, but perhaps not the best, was the six-pack. The six-pack protocol is a nurse-implemented protocol which simplifies actions to 6 core interventions. They are listed on this slide. The first intervention is for all patients, remaining 5 as warranted on case-by-case basis. As noted, the six-pack is not an optimal intervention. Some research find it effective, but many do not, especially some large studies, the most prominent being that by Barker and Company. The huge sample size and large number of facilities of the Barker research lends its great credibility. The methodologies were also sound. Baker and Company found no reductions in falls or fall injuries from the six-pack intervention. Barker and Company felt that some positive results were probably explained by implementing a six-pack at facilities with virtually no fall protocols or extremely lax protocols, which will be liable to produce some improvement but not optimal improvement. They favor a more systems-oriented approach which alter environmental factors. As the slide shows, Aiton and Company made some similar findings to Barker and Company, but they focus on different aspects of the problem and advocated slightly different solutions. Aiton and Company identified key variables which represented deficiency in the six-pack protocol. That is, factors they did not identify or target adequately. Important variables they identify are shown on this slide. Application of the 6 principles of six-packs is not enough to ensure success. I have lived in foreign countries. The six-pack protocol is very popular in many foreign countries and has also been used much in America. This is a bit chilling because it does not appear to be a highly effective This was my first area of research, but the ineffectiveness of 6-pass necessitated examination of other interventions. The Center for Disease Control, STEDI, is often considered the current best practice. CDC is thorough in its research, is reputable, and it generally offers protocols that are designed to be practical for real-world environments. STEDI keeps it simple. Its 3 primary mandates are listed on this slide. The simplicity is a bit deceiving though, as we'll see. If a practitioner were looking for a trustworthy protocol of proven effectiveness, STEDI may be the best choice. Though complex, CDC has done an excellent job of creating materials that make this complexity manageable. AHRQ is a preeminent and highly respected organization. It is a U.S. government agency tasked with utilizing peer-reviewed evidence that improves healthcare procedures and practice. AHRQ has researched the problems of falls and prepared a toolkit for hospitals. This differs from many resources in that the focus is on the institutional setting and the organizational and managerial challenges of implementing reforms of fall safeness and protocols. Here are some of the focuses and characteristics of the AHRQ toolkit. Whereas other protocols attempt to simplify, AHRQ seems to embrace the complexity. This could be a disadvantage as complexity is cumbersome. It could also be an advantage representative of the actual landscape real-world institutions deal with. I happen to tend toward the latter view. AHRQ's toolkit is less a protocol than a guide for implementing protocols, and I will argue that it is indispensable for serious reformers. Sometimes simpler is better. If the intervention hones in on the root problem or supremely effective solution, the DGH protocol may be such a solution. DGH is not the formal name, but rather my name, to simplify referencing. Though some more obscure than other research, the DGH results are eye-popping. The assessment component of DGH protocol is similar to the 6-pack protocol. However, the DGH protocol is more singular and simplified in its focus on identifying high-risk patients and demanding that staff be attentive to their needs. The DGH protocol also demands detailed analysis of why a fail occurred with information reported back to practitioners to help them better prevent falls in the future. My most fundamental reflections of thought is that falls at my facility must be decreased. Seeing patients harmed needlessly, especially elderly patients, is horrifying. Words are inadequate to convey suffering, especially that which could and should be prevented. Like many facilities, mine is hardly negligent, at least superficially, in terms of utilization of best practices. Environmental best practices, which are utilized at my facility, are summarized on this slide. All were mentioned in the literature. Environment alone cannot prevent falls. Nurse actions, their practices are the key prophylactics against falls. My facility utilizes the practices listed on this slide. In combination, the practice on this slide and the previous slide will seem to be an aggressive anti-fall protocol. Unfortunately, like many facilities, mine does not find that these protocols are as efficacious as they're supposed to. The question is why and what to do about it. A significant portion of my practice time, when I have free time, and on my reflection was devoted to the simple yet vexing question that is the title of this slide. Why do falls continue to happen? There is no single factor, but rather several factors, which are listed here and on the next 2 slides. Some of these factors are the results of my direct observation and reflection. Others were encountered in research and clearly applicable. Why do falls still happen? Not enough education provided to staff and patients, especially night, weekend staff. Staff discouraged, unmotivated, exhausted, or not taking falls seriously. Staff not communicating concerns. Other reasons: call don't fall not emphasized enough, not doing rounding or bedside reports or doing them improperly, inadequate access to facilities equipment. This section is other miscellaneous considerations, which occurred to me upon reflection. Ideally, a solution will account for these considerations, as well as other factors already enumerated. Other considerations: culture that emphasizes fall prevention could be improved, including ongoing cultivation of awareness and knowledge in all stakeholders. Better standardization of assessment tools and intervention documentation needed. This is a lot of information, a lot of lists, a lot of factors. Integrating it all and effectively utilizing it is a significant challenge. CDC study includes many of these factors, and its resources could be modified with modest effort to encompass virtually all of them. The purpose of this analysis was to perform a comprehensive literature review of patient falls, determine evidence-based practice, and find solutions to the problems of patient falls. These goals were clearly accomplished. The best way to demonstrate that the learning goals have been achieved is to present the solution. This is done on the final group of slides. The Moore-Fall scale of the Hendrick two-fold risk model should be utilized for assessment. These are tools of proven validity and reliability. If the DGH is nearly as efficacious as the steady, it should be seriously considered, as it is so much simpler and easier to use. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and it enhances your understanding of how to solve the problems of patient falls. I will remain silent while the reference slides are shown briefly. Have a great day and thank you for your time.